You're watching Better Business Bureau's Business at its Best, brought to you by Ataraxis. You've got employees, we've got solutions. Human resources, insurance, benefits, and payroll. Our business is your business. BBB's Business at its Best.
How often do you go to a website and read customer reviews when you're making a buying decision? What does that customer review mean for a business? That is our focus on this edition of Business at its Best. I'm Dale Dixon from Better Business Bureau, serving the Snake River region. On today's show, two business owners join us here on the set to show us how they convince customers and clients to go online and post positive reviews. The big question, what are people actually saying about your business? We show you how to find out. And then what about those negative reviews? We've often heard of businesses running to the lawyer's office, threatening to sue anyone associated with a negative review. We're joined by a professor and attorney to talk about the real chance a suit like that will actually have a chance. Those topics and much more today on Business at its Best. And Business at its Best is possible because of our media partners. We are on great stations, including KTVB, Idaho's very own 24/7 in southern and western Idaho, and eastern Idaho's local News 8's Now channel. And Better Business Bureau is always encouraging people to check with us before you buy. BBB has individual reports on more than 20,000 companies in Idaho. A part of each report is the customer review. And we noticed that 27th Street Automotive receives a lot of positive customer reviews. So we asked owner Joaquin Cordero to share with us today. And Joaquin, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
First of all, tell me about 27th Street Automotive and what you do.
Well, we're a small shop located on 27 on the state, and we pretty much repair any car, and we basically
general repair. You don't specialize in one thing or another, but it's just general repair.
Yeah, just general repair.
Okay. Tell me about your philosophy when it comes to customer reviews.
Well, I think the reviews online are the new word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people look online. So we try to collect the most reviews possible so people can see what kind of work we do.
And then how do you go about encouraging your customers to be going online and posting those reviews?
Well, we take any opportunity to ask for reviews. We run promotions, and we use an iPad to give to the customers to put reviews there, right there. So while they're waiting for the car, they can kill some time and give us a review there.
And you just give your customer the iPad right there in the shop while they're waiting.
Yeah. And I have pre-set up links where I want them to check, and they don't have any problems to give us a review.
What's the customer's reaction when you put that iPad in their hand and ask them to do that?
They're very happy to do it. Yeah, no, I never have any problems. I'll do it.
It's fun because you brought your wife with you today. She's just behind the camera, and you had your iPad with you. It never leaves your side.
Well, I want to show you.
Okay. So what does it mean, though, when, because we talked about the number of reviews that you have on BBB's website about 27th Street Automotive. What do those positive customer reviews mean in attracting new customers? What do you hear?
Well, they go not just on the BBB, but on a lot of websites, mm-hmm. and check different business. And so the information that other people are putting there, they read it and they help to decide where to go or what product to buy.
So it's helpful in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Joaquin Cordero, thank you so much. 27th Street Automotive, and keep that iPad in front of the customers, collecting those positive reviews. Thank you so much for being with us today. And coming up a little bit later on Business at its Best, what if it's a negative review? What can you do? Is a lawsuit in the picture? Well, there might be a better option. We're going to show you that. First, now that we've shown you why customer reviews are so important to your business, we're going to show you how to find out what is being said out there on the web. You are watching Business at its Best, presented by Ataraxis. Welcome back to Business at its Best. Ataraxis makes this program possible each week. The company takes care of the day-to-day work of HR, benefits, and payroll, so a business owner can focus on growing business. We're spending this 30 minutes on all things customer reviews, and we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't show you what BBB is all about, helping people buy wisely and companies sell ethically. When you see BBB accredited business, you know a company has promised to uphold Better Business Bureau's standards for trust. Take a look at those. They're on the screen. Advertise honestly, tell the truth, be transparent, be responsive, safeguard privacy, honor promises. Think about that and the importance of what that means to you, the customer, and having added confidence. Well, if transparency is important to you as it relates to customer reviews, you know, you've got Facebook, Twitter, blogs, but do you know what's being said about your business on the internet? Dr. Marilyn Melchoirre of College of Idaho joins us. We like to call you Dr. Mel. Thank you so much for being with us today. And so how can a business be out there on the net and be monitoring what's being said? Because it is a constant job for folks.
Yes, it is a constant job. There are three main searches that are really good to be aware of. One is the whostalkin.com, and that is a social media search engine. It searches about 60 different gateways in social media, including Facebook, so that's a good search. The Google blog search.
And we've got the names to put up on the screen so folks can see, because spelling of whostalkin.com,
yeah,
it's who's talking,
not
talking.
No,
yeah. So
.com.
no G on the end of talking on that one.
Right.
But whostalkin.com, and you can just go in and up to 60 different sources.
It automatically searches for you when you give it the criteria that you want it to search. And again, it's also tapping into the Facebook posts and what's saying
free.
there. Free
For folks to do.
It is.
So you just go in and type in the name of your business. Okay, that's good for folks to know.
Yeah.
And then you said Google as well.
Google blog searches. There's over 1,000 or thousands of blogs, and so you can kind of go in and do the exact same thing. Google will run the search there, and then you can't forget about Twitter, the hashtag search. You can go into Twitter and do that search, run your company name, and see what information may come up on that area. So you've got three different ones.
And basically in the hashtag search, you put the hashtag, or the otherwise known as the pound symbol.
Sign, yeah.
You don't write out the word hashtag, but you put the pound symbol in, and then whatever word, so your business name possibly.
Yeah. Could be your business name exactly. You could be going with a specific theme, you know, is it restaurant or, you know, something along that line. That would be a general comment that you would want to follow up on.
Very good. Okay, so Google has some other tools to help businesses monitor specific.
Yes. Google has Google Alerts, which is an overall web monitoring, be it news services or videos or blogs, everything. And you can set up a search for a specific term, and Google can provide you an alert when that shows up on the internet. So,
and when you say alert, it's popping up on the email, it's in your email inbox.
Yeah, and you can control that. I mean, you don't want to be getting these, well, you may want to get them in real time as they happen. But you can say maybe send them to me each day, every other day, so you can kind of monitor it. But you want to set up your search, you know, as clearly as you can. If you have some common name or word in your name, then yes, you may be getting a lot of feedback on that particular search.
Any other tips for how businesses can go out there and start gaining some more customer reviews for themselves?
Yeah, one thing really to be aware of, because we know businesses want those online reviews. And
it's word of mouth, like we heard earlier.
Word of mouth. And sometimes may think, oh, if I give an incentive or a gift so I can get that online review. The Federal Trade Commission really does have guidelines related to getting those reviews.
And we frown on it too.
We do. It's that transparency, just like you
Absolutely.
said. As a consumer, we want to know, was someone paid to give that review? So the FTC guidelines, kind of the same thing, that the social media user should disclose, did they receive a gift to give that endorsement? And it can be a very small gift even.
All right, Dr. Marilyn Melchoirre, thank you so much from College of Idaho for being with us. Dr. Mel. Coming up next, we show you how customer reviews apply to just about every business. A custom home builder joins us to share how he delivers such great client care that homeowners are willing to go to bbb.org, post a customer review. You are watching Business at its Best, presented by Ataraxis. Welcome back to Business at its Best. This is a half-hour TV show airing across Idaho. that shows how companies all along the Snake River Plain, from Jackson Hole, Wyoming to Ontario, Oregon, drive the economy by providing top quality goods and services and providing jobs. Today, our focus is on online customer reviews. Chuck Miller owns Chuck Miller Construction. He has a number of customer reviews about your company online. Thanks so much for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Tell us about Chuck Miller Construction and what you specialize in.
We're a design builder, remodeler. We've been in business for about 20 years.
And why did you start the company?
Actually, I purchased the company, was previously the Hidden Springs Building Company. I purchased that company after managing companies for other builders in the valley for a number of years. But I've been in the home building industry, 40 plus years.
So you've seen those changes, and now it's to customer reviews. And what's your philosophy about customer reviews and how they play a part in how you do business?
Well, you know, your home is your biggest investment, and there's not a lot of information out there. There's, in Idaho, builders are just registered. They're not licensed. So I've always felt that a big part of our success has been our focus on working closely with the client, educating the client, making sure that our expectations match and that the end product meets their expectations.
And then the customer review. What role does the customer review play in that aspect of it?
I've always believed in the power of customer reviews and customer testimonials. On my website, we have testimonials from almost every one of our customers. And we actually have photos of our customers to put a face with the review. And I never really have to encourage them to do it. I just ask, and they're more than happy to do it.
What does it mean for your business?
Well, in our initial meeting with clients, I always give them a list of all of our past customers. And the list is now 5 or 6 pages long. And I encourage them to call as many of the customers on the list as they feel comfortable with. Some probably didn't have as positive as an experience as others, but I want them to get a good feel for who we are and what we do.
That's an ultimate level of transparency. That's amazing. So let's now shift gears, because as I was doing a quick search for Chuck Miller Construction, everything I saw just came up positive as far as the online reviews that are out there. But I've talked to a number of business owners as we talk about the explosion of online customer reviews, and they're all over the place. And one of the biggest fears is, what do I do about a negative review? So carrying your philosophy through, how do you set yourself up? What would you do as a business owner in response to when you see that negative review come up? Because it's sooner or later will most likely happen to any business out there.
Right, particularly in the home building business, and a lot of times it's just simply a misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. And so I would, if the negative review is there, I would probably first contact the client and find out exactly what prompted them to post the negative review, and see if we can't do something to correct their perception.
So often it's just simply a breakdown in communication, and it's reopening that line, reopening the line of communication, mm-hmm. and then working through that process and offering a response online so that your mm-hmm. future clients can see you're responsive.
Right. There's a kind of an adage in the home building industry that 1 out of every 10 clients you get will be the client from Hades. And I was actually in Austin a couple of weeks ago at a builder's board meeting, and one of the builders I was talking to said, yeah, but recently it seems like it's 9 out of every 10.
Oh. So working on the communication with your client is even more important now than it's ever been
Very much
before.
so, yes.
All right. Chuck Miller Construction, thank you so much for being with us and sharing some insight for all business owners out there. Coming up later on Business at its Best, we spend some time looking at the importance of working on marketing basics. First, the power of feet on the street when it comes to getting your message out. You are watching Business at its Best, presented by Ataraxis. Now on Business at its Best, working to build a great story about your company online through customer reviews. You've seen a number of resources in the past few minutes about generating positive reviews. What about the negative review? If that comes in for a business, should you sue? That is always a question. Dr. Bill Russell of Northwest Nazarene University joins us. Thanks so much for being with us today. So the big question is, does a negative review, because they're going to happen, as we talked about, does that constitute defamation?
You know, the defamation world is one that lives in tension between two fundamental concepts in our legal system. One, and probably the most important, is the constitutional right to free speech. So people have a right to say what they want to say within parameters. On the other hand, we try in our system to avoid letting people do damage to others. So the whole question of defamation is a process of balancing those two things. The way the Supreme Court has come down in talking about free speech in a commercial context is, if you're giving an opinion, it's your opinion and you have a right to say that. If you state a fact and the fact is false, that might be defamation. So a review, if it's just an opinion, is really not grounds for defamation because you're not stating facts, you're stating opinions.
So let's talk through that, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot and ask for some possible if we were to sit here and write out a couple of reviews and look at them differently, if I go out and I have somebody work on my house and I say they did a terrible job because they left footprints through the house and a mess in the front yard, and then at the end of the job told me it was going to cost more than they did at the beginning, that would be my opinion.
If you're reciting facts, they trampled mud through my house, that needs to be true. If it's false, that's a problem.
Okay.
If you're stating an opinion and
This
saying
is the
they
worst
did a
company I've
terrible
ever seen?
job,
Okay.
you're free to do that as long as the context says it's an opinion. So you don't have to start every sentence with, in my humble opinion. That's not the indicator. The indicator is what's the context of the communication. So if this is an opinion-based review, then you can state your opinion and be safe from defamation. You have that right under the Constitution.
Fighting something like this in court can get very expensive for a business.
Well, on both sides, and in most cases with reviews, you have a hard row to hoe getting to a defamation claim. It's just not something that's easy to do. Now, if the review states facts which are false, then you may have a reason to go talk to a lawyer.
Okay, so what should a company do then if a bad review comes in?
Well, let me start off with my non-legal answer. The first thing to do is take it seriously and don't just dismiss it as something you're not going to look at. Fix it. Learn from it. So if you get a bad review, you should take that as constructive criticism, regardless of the tone. You may not feel that way, but treat it that way and try to fix what the complaint's about.
Don't try to take it personally.
Don't let it happen in the future.
Yeah.
So then you can take a look at whether or not they've said something that's false. So if, for example, you're selling tomatoes and the review says the tomatoes are laced with poison, that's probably a reason for a defamation case. If the review says these are the worst tomatoes I've ever purchased, get over it.
Okay. That's a great, simple analogy for us to follow through on. Dr. Bill Russell, NNU, thanks so much for being with us today. Excellent information for our companies. And you can find Better Business Bureau online. We have a number of resources to help you find the best companies in Idaho. And BBB helps companies sell ethically. Find us online at bbb.org. Also, check out Facebook. When you go to Facebook, in the search line, just type BBB Snake River. Then you're going to find our page, all of the latest information out there. We update you on scams and show you new information about businesses. Just hit the like button when you're there. We appreciate that. Also, find us on Twitter, and you can just do a BBB Trust hashtag search. Coming up next, we're going to take you inside an Eastern Idaho business working to help customers tell stories of great service and experience online. You are watching Business at its Best, presented by Ataraxis. Welcome back to Business at its Best. Time now to head to Eastern Idaho and a look at one company that is doing a lot in getting those customer reviews to come in. Here's the story.
I don't know how many people use a phone book anymore, you know. A lot of stuff comes to us by word of mouth. We have done lots of cold calling to industrial plants. We do a lot of contractors also, getting our name out that way. And then word of mouth has been our best advertising by far. It's what you hope, yeah, that's the plan. You go do a good job and that person tells their friend, and you just kind of build the clientele that way. But I absolutely think that people can look at something and say that's really nice. If it didn't look nice, I don't know if they'd know that it didn't look nice, but they can look at it and say, wow, that really looks nice. The best thing we can do is get someone to say, hey, well, I use these guys, they're great. That's what we prefer. Definitely referrals online. If someone, you know, reads about you or reads a review, positive thing. Hopefully it's positive. Customer's not happy, we do everything we can possibly do to make it right with them. That's the only way you can treat someone who's not happy, or even a negative comment on a review or anything like that, is, hey, we have to make this right. Me personally, if I have an issue with something, I want it to be taken care of by whoever is I'm dealing with. And if that was my wife, or if that was my mom or my dad, or would I want that to be that way for them? No, absolutely not. So we want to take care of you just like you were my wife or my mom or whoever, you bet. People are looking online, which I believe they do, and they're reviewing. I absolutely would like to have positive comments on there, and you know, it's how you can stay alive in this world that we live in today. You know, the economy the way it is, it's how you stay alive. If you could leave a customer satisfied and they're happy and they tell their friend, you couldn't ask for more.
And that is Bradley Whitehead, owner of Cutting Edge Electric, sharing some insight with us about customer reviews. A quick recap of what we learned today. First, follow Dr. Mel's advice and do a search. Find out what people are saying about your company online. Don't just stop there. Be responsive, regardless of whether the customer review is positive or negative. Lead the emotion out of your response and stick with the facts, and make it easy for customers to leave a review about you. Have a great week.